Hello everyone and welcome to my channel where sometimes I play video games, and today I'm back to City Skylines and wanted to share with you a few points about traffic. Basically, I spent a lot of time on thinking about why is that we are having, you know, traffic problems in our cities. So at least that's the case in my cities, every city I'm building. Um, Whether it's hard mode or easy mode, is I'm building it, and at some point it just gets clogged with traffic jams. And one thing is that it's fairly natural that when you start building small city and then you build around it, that initial city center or that initial part of the city becomes basically too small, and its infrastructure's capacity becomes too small for the fact that surroundings have been, um, added. Surroundings have been developed and constructed. So in that sense, um, I'm, it's sort of natural. But then you have to be rebuilding the infrastructure or upgrading or improving. Some things you can pre-plan. So, for example, you may have from the very beginning some idea where main roads of your town gonna be, and you just build alleys there from the get-go. They don't have to have 3 lanes in each side, but it could be still that um, they have like 2 lanes at the beginning with parking lots, and maybe this changes at some point. What this so like you reconstruct that, you upgrade the road to more lanes, for example, to have dedicated turning lanes at some point. Maybe no parkings as well, because if you think about it, those cars looking to park, they will be increasing the clogging, right? They will be slowing other cars that want to go through. So at some point, um, you will see that some streets get heavily loaded with car traffic, and most of those cars want to go through. And for example, of the through traffic, you may have like industrial area, even farming area, that's actually sending trucks, and many of those trucks will want to reach the highway. So they're gonna be moving through your city and creating traffic that you don't want to have. Um, Also important to mention that if you look at a truck, it's like 3 cars pretty much, right? So it's taking a lot of space on the road. Um, Another important aspect is the AI of those cars, of the traffic in city skylines. So you don't need to be like worried too much. I mean, the AI is really not helping. It's having its problems. Those cars sometimes behave very strangely, or they, having 3 lanes, they just go all on 1 lane, and 2 lanes are free. There is trick to deal with that. Basically, you can, if you have, like I can show you on the on my highway. Like, that's so often on highways that you are having um, all cars using just 1 lane, and two other, and they are clogging, and 2 other lanes get um, uh, just are empty, totally empty, right? So what I did on my highways, it's a little bit of a workaround. I just banned some cars, like uh, I banned trucks on the left, extremely left lane, and so they have to use the middle lane, and all other cars prefer to use the left lane. So this way the traffic distributes somehow, and on more evenly. And what I mentioned, one truck is like 2 or 3 cars in terms of size. So it's really big difference if you if you get rid of some trucks from the lane, or if you get rid of some trucks from your city center, right? So you can see that the junction can be backing up with trucks that are essentially going through and not, not looking to deliver something to your commercial zones, because of course you will have some truck traffic, heavy traffic in your city, because commercial zones need deliveries of goods. But apart from that, um, you want to get rid of those that are going through. You can do it through district policies. There is a heavy traffic ban, or you can also build like a bypass highway, like even this small highway bypass road that's fast, providing fast connection outside of the city, maybe to some different city area, right? Or maybe just to the highway. And it's enough, it's great relief for cities infrastructure, if at least some trucks are moving, are taking different route, uh, given how big those trucks are and how much space they need. So you would need to have much wider roads maybe, or whatever, or you can just move them outside of your city. So this is perhaps about through traffic. Um, Too many junctions being too close one to another are also important. For example, you may see, even though I'm having this road here, so sometimes you have a street that's going very close to another junction that's connecting. Um, Better get rid of left turn maybe, right? So leave only right turn. And if they want to get here from that side, they would need to turn left somewhere else, or turn right and use this bridge. So there are a few ways to redirect them. It may feel annoying if you are a driver, but think about it this way: every driver who wants to turn left and has to go through the loop of some sort, or take left turn on some different junction, nearby junction, not exactly where he wanted, but the whole traffic gets smoother. And if it gets smoother, they essentially drive further, like more, because more kilometers or miles, but it's still smoother and faster experience, because the whole traffic gets smoother, right? So also, if they go 30 or 50 kilometers per hour, as long as they are going, as long as the traffic is flowing, it's fine. If they are backing up on the junction on traffic lights for one or two light cycles, it's still fine. The problem is when it's clogging like badly, and it's blocking other junctions, and and it's really like lots of cars backing up. This is problem. This is wrong. But if they are flowing smoothly, even slowly, it's still manageable. It's still fine. What is extremely important here, like I had this uh, clogged a lot of time, like lots of traffic. Very important is pedestrian traffic. Like if you enable pedestrian traffic between certain areas, um, they don't have to take cars to get to nearby places. And another important aspect, I believe, would be mass transit, right? But not buses, because buses are essentially taking the same space. They are, of course, more efficient, carrying more passengers, but still they need the same roads, the same lanes as the all other cars and trucks. But trains, if there are more distant parts of your city that you need to connect, and subway, like those are extremely efficient ways of transporting people. So you can see I don't even have bicycle lanes. Like I don't care that much in this city. But mass transit, that's not buses, actually did great job here. Um, so yeah, what is perhaps also important, I mentioned parking lots right next to the street. So those cars that are trying to park, they also somehow block the road. Also, if they want to access buildings. So if you are having really busy street that's like serving a lot of throughput traffic, you probably don't want to have buildings next to it, right? So then you create those areas, those zones that they can access from a junction, and then the traffic gets distributed inside of the zone, not directly from the main road, from the throughput from the road that's going through the district, the area, right? So um, definitely, if they are trying, see here, like here, if they are trying to access the building, they are blocking pretty much the traffic flow, right? So you want to avoid that for sure. Um, like here it's a big problem actually because I'm having lots of traffic and also lots of buildings. So this doesn't add up too well, really. But it's like a result of natural growth. Initially, it was just for garbage processing and recycling this area, and then I was like adding industry to that area. So industry and the way how we develop the zone is also extremely important for traffic and issues and traffic jam. So here I should probably get rid of those buildings. You see this square is like extremely important place for my traffic in this area. It's like everybody tries to go get in and go out, and they go through this set of junctions in a rectangular shape. There is not very much space also here for cars to wait, and they have to, of course, go through junctions through traffic lights, which is making things additionally difficult. But then you see the truck tries to get to this building, blocks the path, and then you will see that some garbage trucks are also trying to access it. Um, they add to traffic because there are many trucks that come in and go out from here. So right now, I should probably move that building somewhere else to some calmer place that which infrastructure can actually serve it, and not to concentrate, right? Places with traffic, with throughput traffic that tries to go through this street, through this area. Um, yeah, but speaking of area development, um, what is also important is that it's not the space that's the most limiting aspect. Much more limiting is the infrastructure, right? Like the capacity of the infrastructure. So with every project that you are building, for example, industrial project or commercial project or whatever, when you are developing the area, you need to think, okay, how much I can build here so the infrastructure handles that, or what kind of infrastructure should I have in place, or should I, create to handle what I want to build? So basically, you assess the traffic load um, on on the on the zone, on this area that you are developing, the future traffic, right? And redevelop the infrastructure as well to fit it. Basically, that um, zone, that industrial area is too dense. I've built it very densely, and in real life, it wouldn't probably look like this. It would be like half of those buildings, or even third of those buildings on that space would be much more parking lots, would be much more um, empty spaces, I believe. So there were less trucks also trying to access the area and leave the area, right? So that would also make things easier. In real life, you really don't see such dense areas, typically industrial areas. Um, so yeah, and there is also no clear distinction. Like if that's throughput road, probably I shouldn't have industry next to it, right? But these are all, uh, let's call it mistakes, or things that maybe I can get away with them, uh, because you see, it's not like tragic, but definitely that it's like wrong way of creating this zone of building it, that I just may get away with. But then you can see this whole area needs also, I need to think about it, increase its throughput, because those cars are backing up uncomfortably, I would say. It's it's already probably a little bit too much, right? So it requires a redesign. And the same here, probably too dense. Although here it's all fine until this part. It's probably too dense as for industrial area. So yeah, that's another point. Too many junctions, I mentioned, and ironically, or fun fact is that in real life cities, um, too many junctions, at least in area where I live, is a big problem. Like you really have every 100 meters you have those places where you have arterial road with throughput traffic, and it's every 100 meters you are having some junction. You know, this is really annoying, and definitely too much traffic. Um, Building too dense, the city is, developing also. Every empty space is being something is being constructed there. Lots of additional traffic is being added. Infrastructure not being rebuilt. That's a real world sin. But you see that whenever, in many cases, some big industrial projects or commercial projects being built, they also build and remodel the infrastructure, the surrounding infrastructure, exactly because they want to match the expected traffic with the infrastructure. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, cities and um, city governing councils, they get greedy. They want to fill all the empty spaces in the city, but preferably without improving, upgrading the road infrastructure, right? And that creates really lots of stress on the traffic. What else do we have here? Buildings next to main road, I mentioned. Um, some trucks that need to access center, some trucks that are going through the city center. So you want to ideally create alternative routes for trucks that are going through. Um, Ideally, you want to have industrial areas next to the highway or with good connection to the highway. You want to have cargo terminals, I believe. And it's not only for trucks to leave the city, but also for trucks to move from one side of the city to some distant part of the city. Um, you don't have to have those trucks moving through your streets and roads. It's just enough that they load on the train in one zone and in one part of the map, and they get to another part of the map via train, which is uh, definitely much more efficient. So yeah, I think I mentioned everything. Um, or maybe one more thing would be some alternative ways to do left turns, or to distribute left turns, right? Because if you see this Y junction, what it basically achieves, there is still collision between left turns, but it's distributed. So people driving from this direction, they can go through. It's sort of like left turn, right, and get off that bypass road. Um, but then they collide only with people from the opposite side. And then if those people from here want to turn left, they take another junction. So you can actually see I'm having one T junction, because it would be a T junction. Maybe if I build it, it's clearer. It gets clearer. Um, so that would be a typical oh, typical T junction. It's just that what I did, I separated it, right? So those people turning here can turn left here, um, and those people coming from here turning left here. So left turns don't collide on the main road, and then they collide only here, right? So you have actually three junctions, the same traffic distributed on three junctions instead of one. So this road, you can see it could have been more, um, it could have been busier and would still handle the traffic because of this distributed load. So I believe I haven't invented that. I believe it's and you can see you can have dedicated turning lanes if needed, right? Mm. Yeah, another aspect. It's almost like a junction, like a highway interchange, but it's much more. It's like a city style, less space needed, uh, slightly sharper angles when comes to turning. You don't have to have them that sharp. Actually, you can make them like this. So on the main road, basically, if you want to get on and off, you do the right turn. So here of course, I shouldn't have the left turns. I don't want the left turns. Get rid of them, right? So they can go with the right turn. And here you have left turns because it's like T junction, right? But the assumption is this road would probably be less busy. So it's like a main arterial road and then slave road, like some minor road. So it's probably less busy. You can probably get away. It can probably handle left turn here and here, right? If not, so you don't want left turn here. Um, so you can go either this way or you can go this way to turn left, right? But if you have both of them busy and you want to have only right turns here, by the way, you don't need lights in such situation, which is making things much better in terms of traffic. If you don't want to have left turns, that's not a problem. So you simply make it something like this, right? it could be like, if you want, it could be even slightly smaller. Like it doesn't even have to be that big, um, because with those city roads, like, which are not highways, I mean, you can really save a lot of space uh, on those uh, on those angles. Like, they don't have to be that mild. Like, for example, here you have pretty sharp angles. So yeah, they will be going slow, but they will be flowing, right? So it's um, still an upgrade, still a benefit. They're gonna keep flowing. This is still taking space, so not perfect, of course, but so it could serve the purpose if you want to have some village, some industrial area, or for example, farming area, right? That could make a lot of sense. So yeah, that's it in this video. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching, and of course, good luck. Good luck with your traffic.